looking at Jokic in the 3-year window and comparing it, and I use Patrick Ewing as the example a lot. There's no way that I can say that Jokic, no matter how great these past 36 months or whatever have been for him, I can't put him past Patrick Ewing when you're talking about great all-time centers. Yet there are people who will take last night's performance and say, look, 30, 20, and 10, no one's done it before. Jokic on his way. We're going to have him in the top 15, top 10 all-time conversation. You see Jokic do that. I mentioned the name Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, guys that you played against. Heck, your career mirrored Patrick Ewing's.
All those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Where does Jokic fit in with all those?
My first game was against Kareem. Okay? My third or fourth game was against Ewing. And so on. And then a week later, I had Olajuwon. So I've had a career that spanned some of the greatest Hall of Famers. You know, Robinson and I were in the same draft class. So with that being said, I agree with you. And I know people are going to get crazy. And this is from the guy who's a Jokic fanatic. I claim that. I just love how he plays the game of basketball. And so, but I still, you know, there's some trepidation with trying to put him in the top 10, top 15, only because he's still playing. And you're right. I don't think he's better than Patrick Ewing overall. Like Patrick Ewing, once his career was over and what he was doing with the Knicks. Will Jokic be one of the tops ever? Most likely. But that depends on how many more championships he wins, because he still doesn't have one yet. But I think he probably will get one, whereas Patrick doesn't have one. But statistically, I mean, he's nowhere close to these guys. And that's what I'm looking at. He's had a nice run right now in the last 3-4 years. But come on, let's not get carried away. And unfortunately, that's the problem we have in this society. We you know, it's a microwave society. Everything quick, fast, and in a hurry. And I'm not going to just go out there and start saying, oh, he's the greatest. He's better than Wills. He's better than Kareem. No way, no how. But he is a hell of a player, and I love watching him play.
What would annoy you the most about guarding him? His passing, his shooting range, his mind, just what would be all of the above? Oh, you're fine with it?
Because I was defensive-minded, and I came from an era of toughness, an era where you stick your chin in there, it gets hit, you get back up. So I'd be saying to my teammates, yo, same way I did with Shaquille, I got him. You guys defend everybody else. There's no need for a double team because that's his strength. If he scores on me down low, he scores on me. It's 2 points. I'm not tripping. And that's why I keep wondering this. Why you guys always want to give up threes instead of twos? I'll let you get the bucket down low, because we would have had a game plan. And we were involved in our game plans when I was playing, because I would tell the coach, hey, I can guard this guy. I'll send him this way, you know, because no one sends him baseline. And I don't like giving away a lot of scouting reports on Jokic, because if they tend to use it or whatever, it's like I don't get the credit for it. But it's like, you know, unless somebody wants to put me on staff. But I'm sending him baseline. No one's doing that. Everybody's letting him get middle, which is the strength of most big guys.
So you look at Jokic, at what he's done. Is the reason last night's 32-20-10 game there because of today's NBA? Like, does Olajuwon doesn't do that against Shaq in the 95 NBA Finals?
Because it's Olajuwon and Shaq.
Yeah,
they're gonna bump each other off. That's the whole thing. It's like when somebody says, "Oh, this guy here's a bad NBA player." Compared to LeBron, yes.
With those numbers that we see on the screen, I can't believe on a night where the Nuggets are 2 games away from winning an NBA title, and Jokic has a historic night, I'm going to bring the dark cloud the next day. But it's what I just want to I want to get this in perspective, because I feel that everything that you're going to read over these next couple of days and leading up to Game 4, and if they continue to win, is to tell us how great Jokic is. Because That's what we had in the playoffs when Embiid gets ousted and Jokic is putting up the numbers that he's had. But now we're going to start placing him in history. And in Olden, it's what we're going to do in the entire offseason. So why not get a start on it now? Does 30, 20, and 10 happen? I don't think it happens 20 years ago.
It doesn't happen 20 years ago, 30 years ago, because these guys were so much better. And that's what people got to understand. It's like we used to always say, if we played against Our Lady of the Poor, we're gonna beat them by 1,000 points. It's along those lines. No disrespect to Bam Adebayo, but yes, I have to go at him. He's not a Shaquille O'Neal. He's not a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He's not an Akeem Olajuwon. He's not David Robinson. He's none of these guys. So when we were all playing, or when these greats were playing, rather, there was a way, because I was good, you were good. So it's like I get 30, you get 30. We offset. And so you're not getting 30, 20, and 10. Now you can, because the way the style of play is. I'm watching these guys. Murray getting the triple-double. Come on. He's still in the game with 30 seconds to go. Are you kidding me?
Hey.
Come on. He should have been sitting. But they went and got it, and then everybody cleared out the way and let him go get the last rebound. That's absurd. I used to knock my teammates out if they tried to get my rebounds. So to me, no, I'm not buying it. Again, I love Jokic, and I love what he's doing. And kudos to him for going at these guys, because he knows he's better than them.
Absolutely.
Why not? Go get you 30, 20, and 10, or 40, 30. I don't care. If they're not willing to put the work in and play tough and everything like that, yes, he's going to keep dominating every last one of them.
This is what Olajuwon did against Shaq in that 4-game series. And he didn't do 30, 20, and 10. He did do 31, 6, and 7, 34, 11, and 2, 31, 14, and 7, and then in the clincher, which was a sweep, 35, 15, and 6.
That game.
And that's close to what we see with Jokic. Doesn't get to those round numbers that we like that we've never seen before, but isn't that line more impressive than maybe what Jokic did against an undersized Bam Adebayo?
It's very impressive what Akeem did. And you got to remember also, I think 5 of those passes went to Kenny Smith and he missed. So
fair enough. Taking a shot at Kenny Smith.
Yeah, that's my guy. So to me, we got on Jokic after game 2 because he didn't have a lot of assists. He made the plays.
Yeah.
He made the passes. Guys weren't knocking shots in. And so to me, those are the things. That's why I say sometimes the assist thing is a skewed statistic, because if I'm making the right play, I give you an open opportunity, you miss. That's not on me anymore. And so it's amazing when I watch it, because we're going to look at all these numbers and say, he's great, or he's one of the greatest right now, because we're in the now. We tend to forget what guys did in the past. And Akeem Olajuwon, we said his name a couple of times now, he doesn't get mentioned a lot in conversations of big.
No, but I will say this. I think Olajuwon's 2 titles, I think the way that he played and his game was different than Ewing's in a way where I think because of Jokic's emergence as the star that he is, we appreciate Akeem's game a little bit more than maybe we did in the past. I think we lessen some of the other ones. And that's why I bring up Ewing as the example, because I also don't think, and my argument in the past couple of weeks is, Jokic hasn't had to carry the city of New York on his shoulders for a decade plus.
No.
And there is something to that. The game is different. But when we see the numbers from Jokic, I'm not trying to rain on the Jokic parade. I'm trying to put it into perspective so we don't get all crazy in talking about where Nikola Jokic is in the game's history. Seeing something on the screen right now, is he the best player in the world right now? Well, he's one of 30 players that are actually still playing right now. But yeah, that really helps. You become a prisoner of the moment. But when you see 30, 20, and 10 and no one's ever done it before, we needed your perspective from the era that you played and the centers that ended up playing, and we needed that to really take a look. And then when you take a look at what Olajuwon did, say, against a Shaquille O'Neal in that 1995 NBA Finals, or what he did against Patrick Ewing and never scoring less than 21 points and, having 30 points and 10 rebounds and 25, 10, and 7 in a Game 7 win against the Knicks 30 years ago. You need to put Jokic in the proper perspective, and I'm afraid that this runaway train after last night's 30, 20, and 10 game was about to be, flying down the tracks.
Can I put it? I would have to put it in this perspective. We always do the if. Okay, I'll give you a if. If Jokic was to play against Shaquille O'Neal, I believe Shaquille would foul him out in the first half.
Really?
I believe Shaquille O'Neal, because of his size and strength and what he possessed, would foul him out in the first half. Because Jokic tends to foul, but nobody takes advantage of it. Mm-hmm. Adebayo gets a couple every now and then, but he wants to rely on the jump shot more than anything else. So Jokic is okay with that. If you make it, fine. It's a two-pointer. So he's not tripping, and that's what I'm saying. No one goes at him defensively. They did in Game 2, and then he got really frustrated. And no one talks about that. Again, coming from a guy who loves Joker. I love him. I love watching him play. And I think he's going to bring back the big man to a certain extent, because they're going to have to find people that can defend him.
Yeah.
And if you can't, then the Denver Nuggets are going to be running through this damn league for a couple of years.